If you didn't get one of these folders, I will come and bring you one. It has information about our chapter and a contact form. So
She's came over last night. She spent the night with me, and we have just had a great time getting to know each other. And I've been picking her brain about some great ideas for us, and just really excited to hear what she has to share with us today. So I'm going to read just a little bit about her. Dr. Keller Price has more than 20 years of experience in human resources, training and development, and talent management functions. As CEO of Price Consulting Group, she is a trainer and facilitator. Keller has published on training delivery, social media, diversity, expatriates, yeah, okay, and stress, job satisfaction, and employee turnover. In addition, she has designed numerous virtual trainings and developmental tools. She regularly posts via Twitter at Keller Price, and author Twitter for trainers. Kellis also shares her knowledge and expertise with students as facility or a faculty member of Arizona Western College and Northern Arizona University. Keller was honored by AZ SHRM State Council in 2022 with the Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing her contributions to human resources.
Awesome.
So, and our current VP of our district. So I'm super excited to hear what she has to share with us today. And I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Everyone should have a copy of the slides in front of you. If you do not, please raise your hand and they'll get one for you.
Yes, because we definitely have them.
There should be plenty.
Yes, there is. Everybody have one?
As Jackie mentioned, I am an author, speaker, and trainer, and I love sharing my knowledge in groups, especially with ABWA members. On the second slide, as well as on the business card in your stack, you should have a QR code, and that QR code will enable you to put my contact information in your phone. So if you take your phone and you open up the camera on your phone and scan that little barcode, the one on the card is actually a little bit different because it's my ABWA one. The one on the slide is a different QR code specifically for my speaking business, but it'll come up with populating my information, and you'll probably, depending on your phone, you'll hit download contact, select where the contact is going to go. And then if it's in your phone, a lot of times it will say create new contact, and you'll click that and then hit save, and then the contact will be in your phone. I encourage you to reach out to me at any time. The fastest way to reach me is via text. I encourage you during today's session to share the knowledge that we're going to talk about and take pictures. If there's something that resonates with you, you can take a screenshot of one of the slides or take photos and share those on social media. I love using hashtag ABWA because it helps people find us. Do you have a hashtag specifically for your group?
No.
No. Okay, so hashtag ABWA will work. You could also tag me at Keller Price Author and at Keller Price, or at the Price Consulting Group for Facebook. How do you define customer service?
Raving fans.
Raving fans. I like that. Have you read that book?
Yeah.
What else?
Well, people that continue to come back, you know.
People that continue to come back and use your services or buy your products. What else?
I have to deal with a lot of disgruntled people, but I think the customer service part of that coin is my ability to get them to keep coming back, even after missteps or miscommunication.
Okay, so when someone has a problem, resolving that problem to their satisfaction.
Yes.
Excellent. If we don't provide a certain level of service, not necessarily even a raving fan level of service. Poor service can cause you to lose business, and this can be really expensive for your organization, whether you are a small business entrepreneur, you work for a corporation, you work for a nonprofit, you work for a professional association. We provide a certain level of customer service, even in ABWA. American companies reportedly lose about $136.8 billion with a B dollars yearly because of negative customer experiences. With all of the available options via the internet, it only takes one bad experience for you to lose a customer forever, because there are so many options available. So when we're talking about customer service, we look at that customer acquisition cost. How much does it actually cost you as a business or an association to acquire a new customer? This cost is going to be higher for companies that don't invest in customer service. Acquiring a new customer is anywhere from 5 to 25 times more than keeping an existing one. So you're costing your company a lot of money if you're not providing the expected level of service. So let's think about this. Do you remember a bad service experience? Can I have one person share a bad service experience?
Well, now that you've asked me, I can't call one to mind. I thought it was a general question. Yes, I've had several.
Can anyone think of a bad customer service experience that they've had?
I had one recently.
Go ahead, Jenny.
So I went to Outback to use a gift card that they had given me because I had previously gotten takeout and they forgot to put my entree in the bag, so I had to go all the way back to retrieve my entree. So I'm trying to place another online order. It's like, you can't use this gift card. And I'm thinking, why not? It's a gift card. So I go in the restaurant to use the gift card. And granted, I hadn't even had this gift card 6 months into it, already expired. I'm like, that's not much of a thank you, you know?
Really.
Yeah.
And, you know, the guy came back, I'm sorry, this is expired. I'm like, it expired in like December and I'd maybe gotten it like maybe 2-3 months before that. And I just thought that was not much of a thank you, you know?
Or an apology for leaving.
Apology, yeah.
So they made a mistake and they tried to rectify it, and then they made a mistake again and they're like, oh, well.
Well, the guy who, you know, the waiter was really good. He's like, no, we're gonna honor this.
Okay, so they did honor it, but it
Yes.
was a bad experience and you're sharing it. Did you tell anyone else about this bad experience?
I'm sure I have. It's
Yeah.
at least 2 or 3 people.
And that's a sticking point, because when we have bad experiences, a lot of times we're going to share those bad experiences and retell them over and over to other people. And when we're in the market for a particular product or service, that's going to be in the back of our mind, like, oh, I had trouble with them before. I've had trouble returning stuff at Best Buy because they have like a 2-week or some crazy, ridiculous return policy. And I've tried to return things with a receipt and they haven't returned it because it was beyond their return policy, unopened package and everything. And so I avoid Best Buy at all times, because I know I'm going to have trouble if I have to return something. I'm going to be pressured to have to go back right away to return it so that I can get my money back. So it's important to really think about that when you are dealing with customers and interacting with people. The flip side, when we give good service, what happens? Investing in better service is really a requirement nowadays to keep existing customers because of the number of options. Customer service, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Over 80% of customers will report using a service or sharing that service more often with a better experience. So let's talk about, what do you want to learn today about customer service? Why are you here? Other than you want an amazing seafood meal and networking with these great ladies.
Well, just to learn more about how to work with others and serve others well. You know, I think in today's world, it's about service and how well can you serve others.
So it doesn't really matter what your product or
No.
service is. If you don't have good customer service, you might as well shut the door.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm always really interested in like conflict resolution styles and then anything that can talk about, or teach you how to, like work through your own emotional responses in those challenging situations. So just any tips or tricks for like when things are not going so great, how can you change it for the better?
Because the
Okay.
person who just told us that other people's feelings aren't your problem. So you're not responsibility, I guess that's the problem. They don't have a problem and now I'm
Peggy?
I like it.
Well, I can confirm that the cost of losing a customer and trying to get a new, what she communicated to us about the cost of getting a new one versus the cost of keeping them is absolutely true, and I've proven that to business owners repeatedly. But where you can help out, I'm not a sales and marketing expert, right? I can tell them how much it costs, but what are some of the best practices for retention? Just to prevent having the issue in the first place. What's out there is best practice.
All right, so our learning objectives today are to create those proactive customer experiences instead of reactive, the things that Chelsea's talking about, that someone comes to you upset, through happier employees, improving your close ratio with personalized and differentiated service, and retain and wow your customers, creating that raving fan experience for higher ticket sales and better loyalty. In terms of my personal experience in retail and restaurant management and my research during my doctoral program across organizations, happier and healthier employees get you better results. As a fitness and nutrition coach, I love to tell people this and remind them that making sure your employees are healthy and happy impacts your bottom line. Over time and time again, regardless of your industry, it helps improve job satisfaction, creates more engagement in the workplace, in addition to less absenteeism, better work relationships, more collaboration and creativity, and fostering those networks within the organization to create innovation, creating a more resilient worker. You're better able to handle those problems that come up if you are happy and healthy, because you have a better mindset when someone comes at you, and you can better control those emotional responses, which as women, that seems to be more of a challenge for us because we take things more personally than men. Happier or healthier employees also have less stress, and this in turn brings lower employee turnover, meaning that not only are you not spending money to retain new customers, but you're also not spending money to replace your employees. Or if we're talking about ABWA or an association, you're not spending time to replace members. So think about your own personal organization. If you work for a company, when was the last time your organization did an employee satisfaction survey? If you're laughing, that's probably the wrong answer. Okay, quarterly is excellent. Quarterly is excellent. Hopefully, if it's a quarterly, it's a shorter survey. We recommend that at least yearly employee satisfaction surveys, if we're talking about for volunteers or membership associations, yearly will help provide you the details that you're looking for. Has anyone heard of the Great Resignation? Yeah, so over COVID, this phenomenon happened of the Great Resignation, where 92% of people said that the pandemic really made them realize that life is too short to be unhappy. That if they're not passionate and they're not enjoying their work, they're going to find something else. And so in 2021, we had 47.4 million people quit their jobs. And this statistic has not slowed down since the pandemic has ended. 4.1 million and 4.5 million people quit their jobs each and every month last year. So the trend is continuing. Then we also have quiet quitting. These are people that are at least half of the people in your workplace. If you think about how many people are in your purview, at least half are disengaged from their jobs, meaning that they're showing up for their paycheck, but they're doing the minimal amount of work required to stay employed because they don't care.
Yeah.
They're not really interested, they're not passionate, they're not engaged. So being able to offer opportunities to improve people's happiness is a good way to re-engage them in the workplace. And some of these things can be things that are low to no cost. An example is flex time. 51% of people said that they would leave their current job for one that offers flex time. And once they have that benefit, they really appreciate it and they don't want to go back to the traditional workplace. 37% would leave to work remotely at least part of the time. So people really value that, and that's something that even though the pandemic is over, we have to evaluate that within organizations. Is that a possibility for our work? We can improve employee performance by figuring out what someone's strengths are and leveraging those strengths. When I was new to HR and I was learning to develop people, we always talked about looking at their weaknesses and helping them grow in those weaknesses, which we want to minimize people's weaknesses and leverage opportunities to upskill them in those areas. But that's really not where we get the bang for the buck. If you find out someone is uber talented in a certain area, they're already a head above everyone, figure out how to leverage that strength and plug them into things that will allow them to use that strength. They'll feel more comfortable in your workplace and they'll give you more. And there are a number of different tools that you can use to find strengths. There is one on the slide that is a free, and I apologize, the pop-ups on there are probably blocking part of the information. A free assessment that you can take to find out your top 3 intelligences. We all possess strengths in some of those intelligences, so there's not like a right profile that you're looking for when you take that, but it's a good tool to use in conversation with people that you are working with. A DISC assessment is another option, and I'm a certified DISC professional. And so if you're interested in doing a DISC profile, you can contact me as well. And that's something that you could also do for your entire team to figure out how to work together with the people in your existing group. 60% of employees feel that being able to do what they do best in their job is very important, because we want to be in our zone, right? When we feel like we are rocking on all cylinders. Another thing we can do for our employees to improve their performance is to prioritize work-life balance. Some of the things that we can do, flexible and remote work, we've already talked about that. Highlighting benefits that you already offer in your organization so that the employees can better use those particular benefits. Customizing to the employee's needs. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're offering different benefits packages to everyone, but let's use time off as an example, because we have more generations in the workplace today than ever before. And time off is a valued thing. So we have the traditionalists that are 75 plus that are still in the workplace because either they're doing it for fun to get out of the house or financially they need to work, but they want flexibility and part-time. They want to be able to use the skills that they have. Then we have our baby boomers that are starting to move towards retirement, that maybe want a flexible work schedule to be able to drop everything and go and take care of grandbabies like Jackie did last week. They want time off for those types of things. We have our Gen X, that a lot of them have children. They need time off to go to parent-teacher conferences at the school, or go to their kids' school play, or go catch the soccer game. And then we have our younger generation that they want time off for like a girls' getaway weekend, or they want a day off on their birthday. Everyone wants that time off for different reasons. So being able to customize for that particular individual for their satisfaction is really important. And so you balance the requirements of the job with the things that individuals are looking for to keep them happy in the workplace. So we can focus on well-being. We talked about happy, healthy employees are more productive by decreasing stress. This increases their emotional resilience. Again, when we have stress in the workplace, it gets us all hyper, and we have to be able to be resilient when their problems do arise. Encouraging brain breaks in the workplace. How often do you get up from your desk and step away from your work?
Not enough.
Yeah.
How often should it?
Every time your watch tells you what.
So some of us have reminders on our watch. That's a great way to do it if you listen. I drink about a gallon of water a day, so I use the bathroom maybe every 30 to 45 minutes. That's my brain break. It makes me get up from my desk, use the bathroom. It resets my brain. If you don't drink that much water, well, you probably should, but being able to get up and step away. I have a lot of clients who are in nursing and high stress jobs. I recommend that they go outside and get some fresh air for just 5 minutes. Take some nice deep breaths, step away, stretch a little bit, stretch in your chair. These brain breaks improve your focus, your mood, your productivity. And when you allow your employees to get those breaks, it also gives them opportunities for those personal connections within the workplace. So if they get up and they go to, if you have a break room and you have snacks in there, and they get a snack and they're chit-chatting with their friends at work, that personal connection helps keep them connected in the workplace. So let's talk about personalized and differentiated service. Customer service really is king in today's marketplace and is the #1 brand differentiator across industries. If you can give good service, you are going to have a competitive advantage. 1 in 3 customers will leave a brand that they absolutely love after just one bad experience. And a bad experience could be anything. It could be that they messed up your order and didn't do anything about it. It could be that they fixed the situation, but the person who they dealt with didn't have a very pleasant attitude, or gave them the runaround to resolve the problem. Maybe they didn't resolve the problem at all. 80% of customers will pay a price premium of up to 13 to 18% for better service. So if you take a look at your specific offering in your business and what the average ticket price is for your customers, and then add 13 to 18% on there on an annual basis, that's what you're leaving on the table if you're providing mediocre service. And if you're working in commission sales, this could be a huge motivator for your employees or for yourself. 49% of buyers will make impulse purchases after receiving a more personalized customer experience. So an example, I travel a lot and I have membership at a lot of the hotel companies. And sometimes when I check in, they will greet me by name. If they have a suite available, even if I don't have points, they'll do a free upgrade. They're like, oh, thank you for being a bonus points member or whatever. We've upgraded you to a oceanfront room at no charge today. One hotel that I went to recently uses a text service. So the manager on duty has your phone number and they input into the system. And they texted me about 2 hours after checking in and said, just want to make sure everything's satisfactory with your room. If there's anything we can do for you, please let me know. Conversely, I've stayed at hotels that you call the front desk and it rings and it rings and it rings, and all you need is like an extra towel so you can take a shower, right? So huge difference in the service experience and going above and beyond. I didn't even ask for the upgrade and they provided it to me. That's that raving fan. You deliver above what the person expects of you. So customers that rate companies with a higher customer experience score, like a 10 out of 10, will spend 140% more and remain loyal for up to 6 years. Does anyone buy a certain brand of anything like on a membership or subscription? Yeah, huge earning potential. If you have auto shipping on Amazon, who has auto shipping that you have stuff that you subscribe, that's membership loyalty, right? Whatever it is. Dog treats, coffee filters, water filters, it's still brand loyalty. In terms of poor customer service, Chelsea has someone that comes in and they're just angry. Only 10% of consumers say brands meet their expectations for a good experience. Only 10%. So there's a lot of wiggle room between what customers are expecting in today's marketplace and what we're actually delivering. And so all it takes is a little misstep on your part and they're shopping somewhere else. They're going somewhere else for that product or service. Some of the most common causes that we see for bad customer experience involve difficult purchasing processes. So you find something that you want to buy and you click on it and maybe it's like, oh, this is out of stock. I went to a restaurant the other day. I was at an event and we were provided menus and I go to order, and then the first thing I ordered, they're like, oh, we're out of that. The second thing I go to order, oh, we're out of that too. And I'm looking at the menu. I have dietary restrictions, so I have certain things that I can order. And so I finally said to the girl, what do you have? Needless to say, I will not be using that venue again for an event, because if you don't have a lot of the things on the menu, print another menu, right? Even if it's a paper menu, so that people, it's hard to buy, you make it hard to buy stuff. I work with sometimes small businesses that have Etsy shops and different things online. And sometimes it's really hard to order things. They redirect you, or they ask you to cash app them the money, and then they take forever to ship it, or any number of different things that impact the customer service experience. Negative experiences with customer support. So you have a problem, you get something and it's the wrong size, and you go to return it and you ordered it online and it was from China and they want you to pay like $30 to return it, right? Difficult customer experience. That's enough. Well, that's a fraud thing, but totally different experience. So having that negative experience when you have an issue, who do you contact? I had something that was within warranty and I emailed to follow up on the warranty to get a replacement, and I had to send 2 emails before I got a response. I shouldn't have to follow up multiple times with customer support to get a response. Compromising a customer's personal security. This could be their credit card information, which Cindy, working in banking, knows all about. When organizations don't protect the customer's personal information, or just their general safety if you have a physical location. Waiting too long on hold.
Oh, gosh.
You call an office and they say, can you hold please? And then they put you on hold before you even answer. And then you're on hold for how long? How long do you think you should be on hold?
3 minutes or less.
10 seconds.
Wait, when it's 3 minutes, I put my phone on speaker and I go and do something,
Oh, yeah.
right?
You can't even get to them. I mean, you have to press this button, then you go to that button,
Yeah.
you go to this
Yeah,
button,
right.
and then you get disconnected before you finally get.
Yeah,
to
the phone freeze, no, quick.
And you screen representative and stuff.
Yeah. Help. No. The other one is ignoring customer feedback. Let me go back to the too long on hold. And when we have customer experiences, negative ones, sometimes we're going to hear about it. And sometimes they're going to get so frustrated, they're just going to leave your organization, never to be heard from again. So one of the best practices that organizations do is go through the whole customer experience from start to finish to see where the issues are. If you think you have issues with you're giving bad customer service, or you're losing customers, send somebody through the experience of trying to call. If I have a problem, how do I reach you? How long does it take to respond? Is the person who answers the phone as the customer service person able to answer or provide the support? Or are they just there to like say no?
Stella, is mystery shoppers still around?
Yeah.
I remember a lot of years ago, I worked for a car dealer, and we were their ad agency, and we would use mystery shoppers. We would analyze it, give them, so that was part of our services. Is that still around?
Yes, there are companies that do that. And there's anyone's ever seen the show Undercover Boss?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example of the CEO going in to see like how the operation's really working, to find out where the flaws are and make corrections. So there are lots of different ways that you can go through the process. I have companies that will get shoppers and pay them money to go and purchase things and write about their experience, for sure. Ignoring customer feedback. So there are customers that are not going to be satisfied with your resolution. It happens, but at least responding to this. And this is really important for Google reviews. Anyone have their business on Google? Okay, so all of you that didn't raise your hand should have your business on Google. And this enables your customers to find out more about your business. It's like free advertising. It helps your SEO and your hits in search results, but customers can leave reviews. And if you have raving fans that love your company, that's when you say, thank you so much. I'd really appreciate your review. So if you're enjoying the presentation, I do have a price consulting group at Google. I would appreciate a review, also on Facebook. But you also have individuals that are not going to be satisfied or going to write a negative review, whether it's on Yelp, it's on Google, maybe it's on Travelocity if you're in hospitality. They are upset for whatever reason. If you ignore that review, it says more about you than if you try to reach out to that person. Even if it says something like, I'm sorry you had this experience, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you more about it. Even if you don't resolve their poor experience, other individuals who see that know that you're responsive to the situation.
And I would add to
Yes.
this, on Airbnb, I always book based on reviews. Because I'd much rather than put something like that response than go back and back like we checked in here and then you did this, like they're arguing. So
That's a great point. You don't want to argue in public.
person was completely wrong. Their office, I don't need to know all that. Just
Yeah. It comes across unprofessional, and it says something about you as a business if you're going to be argumentative with a customer. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing, praise in public and talk about performance in private.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you, I mean, there are some people, I don't care what you do, you're not gonna please them. And what do you do with those people? I mean, at some point you realize, yes, I've responded to you, but you're, you know, you continue to berate me despite what I've done. You know, how do you deal with those?
So that's where you take a deep breath. How do you respond when someone is upset and you can't resolve? Chelsea asked about emotional experiences, and it can be really frustrating when someone is like yelling at you and is very upset about something. And it's hard not to take it personal, but it's not about you. It is about them and the experience. And so I'd always take a deep breath and empathize with them. You know, I understand how you feel. I can tell that you're very upset about this situation. I'm really sorry that you had this experience, because we strive to perform and give you a good customer experience every time that you come in and do business with us, because we really appreciate your business. What I can offer you is this or this. And I usually give them like 2 options, especially if they are really upset. And the reason that you give them 2 options is because if they give you one option, the answer could be no. And then you have to continue the conversation. If you give them option this or this, that you're asking them to pick one or the other. And if you don't come to a resolution, I'm sorry we didn't come to a resolution. If you decide that you'd like to take me up on either of those offers, that still stands. If you'd like to think about it and get back to me, I really appreciate you coming in today. I used to work for Sears, Roebuck and Company, and what was one of the things that they were very well known for?
Returns.
Right, one of their big things was customer satisfaction or your money back. And they almost went out of business in the 90s because of that. We would have customers that would have things that they would bring in that was like 20 years old, and they would ask us for a new one.
Yes, I worked for Sears as well, and in the housewares department, and there would be people who would bring in a hand mixer that they had for 15 years,
Yeah.
and they quit working. I want a new one.
A hand mixer, 15 years old, I want a new one. Well, the life expectancy on a hand mixer is like 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So that's what we would tell people. But you have a lot of people that have a perception. So this is where setting the expectation for a good level of service, but over delivering becomes important, because if you set the expectation so high, your customers are going to ask you for like the whole cart and the horse.
Be realistic.
So this is where we differentiate between customer service or a customer experience, because they're 2 totally different things. Good customer service is meeting those expectations. A customer experience is delivering beyond. So more than 50% of an experience is based on emotion. Going back to those emotions, we have emotions. Our clients, we want them to have emotions, because that shapes the attitude that drives decisions. If you feel really good about something, if you like the salesperson, it's harder to say no to the sale, right? Because you have that rapport. If that person makes you feel special, they're more likely to shop with you again. They will support you. Customers become loyal because they're emotionally attached and they remember how that person made them feel. And that goes to the Maya Angelou quote: people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And so when you get that illicit emotion out of someone, this is where you get that true brand loyalty and those raving fans. This optimizes your sales performance with 85% in sales growth, because you have that emotional connection. People buy things based on emotion. They spend money based on emotion. Most of it is not analytical. So thinking about your organization, whether you are an entrepreneur, you work for a corporation, or you're talking about serving with volunteers or a professional association, how can you create that experience for your potential clients and for your existing clients that creates that loyalty? One of these things that you can do is speed of communication. So this is responding quickly when someone has an issue. This is where you connect clients and prospective clients where they're at, which is on their phone. This is where you can establish rapport and connection quickly to improve their client, their customer service experience. So who here is a small business owner? We have a couple. Who here manages social media for their organization? Okay, so for either of those, you can set up in your social media automated messages or responses. So when someone messages you, they get a response back immediately. You can also set up FAQs. So when people ask questions, they can get responses. And you can do that through, if you're using Facebook, the business suite. You would have to be logged in your page, and then you go to the messages, and then you select automations to set up your automations. Another way is to manage customer relationships. So I have an example on the back of my business card, and there it's also on the slide, a QR code. And so if you scan that, I'd like everyone to get out their phone and scan that barcode. This enables you to put information real time in someone's hand so that you're essentially interacting with them 24/7 without all of the legwork of interacting with them and providing them resources. So this is my ABWA QR code that I've color branded for ABWA. It's the one on the back of my business card, or it's on your slide. The first step is to create a link tree. Who here uses Linktree? Okay, so I know you're eating, so you can do this as a homework assignment. When you get back to the office or tonight, you can create a link tree. And what this does is, instead of giving someone, bombarding them with a list of like 25 different links for this and links for that, and so many links, and then people can mistype the links. You create a link tree, and you can put a number of different things on there. And you could see on here on the link tree that you scanned, the QR code, it has LinkedIn, Instagram, the YouTube, a newsletter, the ABWA national website, the ABWA membership sign up page, the national Facebook page, join my local league, subscribe to the newsletter, check out scholarships. You can do this for your business with different things. If you're a speaker, you can put links to information about your keynote speaking engagements. If you interact, you're working for the foundation. Chelsea, what do you do for the foundation?
I'm director of industry engagement.
So if you have websites or documents that you want to share with people that you connect with, you can preload those into your link tree so that you're sending them a lot of information with one thing. So you create the link tree, and it's a dynamic tool because you can change it at any time. You can take things off, you can move them around, you can add things, and it's always up to date. You don't have to change all your promotional material because the website or the link tree is the same web address. So you create the link tree, and then you use that web address. You go to QR Code Monkey, which is another free tool, and create a QR code for that web address. And you can use that QR code on your media to connect. So we want to manage those positive experiences. Consider some more facts. 64% of consumers are more likely to recommend a brand to others if it offers simpler experiences and communications. So is it easy to communicate with you? Or do they message you and you don't give them a response for like 2 weeks? That's a lost opportunity, especially if they're asking about your service, because they probably made a purchasing decision already because of the speed of technology. You have to get back to people faster. 71% of people recommend a product or service because they received that great experience, going above and beyond. There's a company that I have a subscription to some skincare products, and every month with my subscription, they send me a free product. That helps build brand loyalty. And oh, guess what? Some of the things that they sent me, I really like, and now I order those things too. It's a greater customer service experience, over delivering. I didn't ask for a bonus product. They didn't tell me they were going to send it. It's like a thank you. 65% of all consumers find positive experience with a brand to be more influential than great advertising. So you can advertise all day long, but that's your cold market. Your warm market are people that are actually interacting with you. And when they leave that review, how many people have ever read a review? Cindy already said she reads reviews on Airbnb. Raise your hand if you read reviews. Do you know the people that write the reviews? No, but you trust them, right? You value their experience.
Yes.
So this is important when you have good customers, getting those reviews, because this is going to elevate your experience for your organization. Resolving problems. Chelsea really wanted to hear about resolving problems. We already talked about addressing negative feedback, and we did an example here of how to talk to that person that's not helpful. And sometimes when you ask people for feedback, it might sting a little bit, right? And I love the little meme on here, brace yourself, feedback is coming. We have to be ready to accept the feedback and do something about it. Because if they have that customer experience and that perception and they're willing to share it with you, there's probably someone else that has had a similar experience. So how do you either train your employees to fix the situation differently, or fix your process to make it easier? I fly Southwest a lot, Southwest Airlines, because Dallas is one of their hubs. And I fly them regularly, not just because of the convenience and the cost, but because I know if I have a problem, I call customer service and they're going to offer me something. Usually it's like $150, and I probably would be happy with less in most situations, but it keeps me flying with them, and I fly a lot, right? Because they resolve the situation. Oh, you broke my luggage. Oh, my flight was delayed. Whatever the situation may be. Yes.
I just want to add something. I'm also professional development in HR. So whenever you ask for feedback and you do nothing with it, sometimes you're doing more harm than good. With customers, different because they're just going to leave potentially, but with employees, always be willing to either say or tell them this is why we're not doing this, or this is why we are doing this, so they at least understand why you're not keeping the way things are.
Absolutely. You definitely want to do that follow-up. And if you implement a change in the workplace and it's something that an employee's recommended, recognize that employee. Thank you, Peggy, so much for that recommendation to provide tampons in the bathroom. We didn't realize it was such an issue at the workplace. And we have provided that at no charge to our employees, so you never have to worry about being without. Everyone give Peggy a round of applause, right? So Peggy gets recognized, and that encourages other people to make suggestions to make the workplace better. Put yourself in their shoes. As a customer, if you have a difficult person that you're talking with, how would you feel if you had that experience? Annoyed, in some instances, maybe like heartbroken if you lost luggage and they're on their honeymoon and they have no clothes. Yeah. Yeah. Upset, angry, put yourself in their position to give yourself some of that empathy. And maybe you have experienced that particular thing happening to you, but that helps give you perspective. And if your employees need some of that training in empathy and how to relate to customers, there are training programs available and training tools that you can use to help them practice to create a more empathetic customer service. I actually was working with a company and I had a problem not too long ago, and I called, and it was a call center in India, which there's nothing wrong with that. And I worked with the person for about an hour, and they told me they were going to be able to help me. And then they came back and said, no, they couldn't. And I was like, well, that's not satisfactory. And they didn't know what to do, and they hung up on me. And so I called back and tried again, and I still didn't get the problem resolved. Perfect example. You need to know what to do when someone calls. What framework do you have in terms of customer service and the expectations of what you're delivering? Managing customer relationships, responding to your customers on social media, respond to their comments, respond to the likes, and ask them for those likes or bookmarks or saves when you're doing promotions. Ask your customers who are happy with your service, ask them for reviews. What I do with my organization, because a lot of my work is through word of mouth. When someone gives me a shout out on social media or posts a review, I will save that review and I'll use it in my stories. And then I can use it as my highlight reel in my stories. I'll use that content and repost it across my social media, my website, thanking the customer for a great review, and we appreciate their business. The QR code on this page is for my price consulting group. And again, you can customize your interaction with clients with your logo included. Customer interaction, user-generated content. This is where we can, again, leverage that happy customer in our organization to get more customers and visibility. So when someone posts about my business or service, whether it's a sweaty selfie after a workout or a thank you, again, I repost that content because it gives that customer the appreciation for the shout out. Sometimes I'll even write a handwritten thank you note or send them a small gift if it's a really good review or they've been a great customer. Share those with your other customers. Encourage your customers to post using hashtags for your business. If you're a business or you have a social media account, make sure you share that with your customers and your clients so that they can share their experience with others on social media. Because you all said you read those reviews and you trust people that you don't even know. So you're getting free marketing and free customer service boost by sharing those stories. But we really want to create that wow. We really want to create that experience. Richard Branson, who ran Virgin Airlines, said the key to set realistic customer expectations, and then not just to meet them, but to exceed them, preferably in unexpected and helpful ways. This is like going the extra mile. You have a customer that has a milestone birthday and you send them a birthday card with a little $5 Starbucks card. Or you find out a customer had a death in the family and you send them flowers or a condolence card even. Find out what the customer wants and then over deliver. Give that personal touch. I go to a certain cafe pretty regularly, like twice a month for business events, and generally have the same waitress, and she knows me by name. She knows what I normally order. I always get a hot water with lemon, and so when I come in, she doesn't even have to ask. She brings me my hot water with lemon. And I tip her very well every time because she knows what I like and she's gone above and beyond to deliver. We already talked about unexpected bonuses and making your customers feel special. So based on what we learned, was there anything that you wanted to hear about that I didn't cover? That you came in to learn about today? Did I hit all the wickets? So think about what are some of the things that you personally need to focus on now that you have all this content. We don't want to just go back to the office and say, that was a great ABWA program, and continue about doing things the same way you did them before today. So think about what are some of the things I need to focus on or address in my organization or with my own personal level of customer service. Maybe you want to develop social media interaction better with customers. I do have a boot camp that I offer a discount to ABWA members if you're interested. Maybe you want to improve wellness programs because that brings you better productivity and service for your employees. I can help you create something customized with low cost and proven results. Maybe you need individual or team programs to identify your strengths with DISC. I can help you with that DISC report or do a workshop, but you should have some sort of action plan of steps and things that you want to try in your personal life, your professional life, or your organization. I thank you so much for your attention. I'll open it up to any questions that you have at this time. Yes, Jenny.
I'm helping out a neighbor, his website and stuff, and he wants to grow his business. It's very small, it's like maybe him and 2 other employees.
Okay.
And it's a pest control. So, you know, there's lots of those. So how can he, as a, small business owner, how can he compete with those guys as far as like, customer service stuff? They're better organized than the larger companies.
Differentiated service, looking at how you book appointments for pest control. What is the turnaround time? If you have a infestation, what is the average time that it's going to take someone to come out? The professionalism, because pest control could be in someone's house, what is the customer service level of the person doing the service? Do they look like someone that you're going to be welcome to come in the house? What is the security level? When someone comes to the house, do they provide a badge? What do they provide to let them know that this is the person that's supposed to be coming for the service? How do they follow up with the client to make sure that the client is satisfied? So some of those things for small businesses that I recommend, we talked about automations for social media, but it could also be automations for interacting with a customer. So I use a customer relationship management software that people can book appointments, and it puts it right on my calendar. And I can specify the amount of time between appointments. And you can do fancy things like with pest control, because you're driving to different locations, you can specify like certain maybe zip codes for different days, so that they are not driving all over, to like maximize efficiency. And some of the automations that I have set up, like reminders for appointments. Reminder, your appointment is such and such time. I look forward to hearing from you. A follow-up automation. Thank you so much for your appointment. I would love to get your feedback. Please complete this review here. Please let me know if you have any questions. 3 days later, I just wanted to follow up and make sure that you were happy with the service I provided you. You can automate all of that. So for small businesses, that's really important. Or if you are working in a corporation that got really lean during COVID and you have a lot of responsibilities, take the onus off the employee to have to manually do all these pieces. Use some sort of tool to help facilitate some of that, so that they're not calling and having to be on hold for 20 minutes to book appointment to come out to the house. They can go online and book that. For sure.
Like when like somebody coming into your house, like there may or may not be a safety certification or whatever, but I like knowing the vehicle, if it's not marked, and that they have some kind of, oh, Jim will be there in a white Forest, that just says a female, like I have to open the door and there's no one else there. So stuff like that, to me, that makes it apart.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A picture similar to, you think about Uber and Lyft. Think about 20 years ago, if someone said that you're going to call and someone's going to come, some rando person's going to come in their personal vehicle and drive you to your destination. How many people would have been like, nope, not doing that. But today we do it and it's normal. And you can see the tag number, and you can see a picture of the vehicle and the person's name and reviews. Other questions? Yes.
So I just started out building a book of business. I'm an insurance agent, and I would just like some ideas as to like what are cost-effective ways to make my clients feel special, just because like I'm fully commission based. And so for me to set aside like a large budget, like for example, my partner, he's been doing this for a while, so he did king cakes for all of his clients. But that just wouldn't make sense for the money that I have coming in from the job. So what are some like smaller things that I could do that would make them feel just as special?
Yeah, handwritten notes would be one of the top ones. The biggest expense on that is going to end up being your postage and the time. But those handwritten notes really are meaningful, because not a lot of people think about how much email you get and how many messenger messages you get and how many handwritten notes that you get. You could probably think about the last handwritten note that you received.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's a good differentiator. You could also do customer appreciation events, like a wine and networking type event where you offer a free program and maybe you buy a couple appetizers for the group and drinks are on their own. So it's a low cost and it's an invite only type event. Or if you have an event and you're inviting customers and prospective customers, you give the existing customers, if they RSVP, they get like a drink ticket or they get something special. Or if they bring a guest with them, then they get 2 drink tickets, or they get 2 entries into the raffle. They get some sort of bonus for helping support your business.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I share an idea that?
Absolutely. Share your idea, Peggy.
On Thanksgiving Day, I was rushing around trying to get prepared, for everything I had to do that day. And my phone bings. And I looked at it and it was a text message that included a video from one of my clients. And he was sitting there, his wife was holding the phone, and his baseball cap was on backward. He literally looked like he'd been out frying a turkey or something, so he took 5 minutes to make sure that recording got done, to thank me for the help that I provided him and whatever. But I literally, when I shut it off, I was bawling. I'm sitting there going, oh my God. But it set him totally apart that he took the time to do that. So I modified what I was gonna do for my clients for Christmas. I was like, I didn't do videos. But it made me realize, you know, just sending a Christmas card, we need to do something that's different, that will catch their attention and that's personalized. So I did choose a personalized gift. And I heard back from almost everybody that received one, how much they appreciated it. So one of the things that was a learning experience for me is that personal touch, that they don't think they're just one in a list. And some of that, but that cost that guy nothing. Zip on Thanksgiving. Now, it cost him time on Thanksgiving Day, and I wonder what his wife was thinking. But
So he could have made that before, and this is one of those things when I talked about personalized service. Video is a great example. You can send those out via
yes,
text or on Messenger. Sometimes for people's birthdays, I do jib jab cards because they're fun. Everyone gets like, I think I get 500 or 600 messages on my Facebook, happy birthday, and I try to read them all. But when someone sends me a video or they send it to my Messenger instead of my Facebook wall, it's different. If it's a video, I'm clicking on the video to see what that video is that the person communicated. So that's that differentiated service. It's not costing anything. And you can make a personalized message that applies to multiple customers, whether it's a happy Thanksgiving or a Merry Christmas or let's celebrate Mardi Gras, whatever it may be. You can create something personal and unique. And if you're an entrepreneur, don't be afraid to show your personality in the way that you deliver customer service, because again, that brings that emotional connection with you because you are your brand.
Thank you so much, Kella.